Good evening, City Council, City Clerk Royal, distinguished guests, and my fellow citizens. I'm glad to be able to provide a mid-year State of the City address, and of course, it's an honor to serve as your mayor. I have said many times throughout the years that Saline is a special and unique place, and those of us who are fortunate to call this community home are blessed in many ways. With all the opportunities this community affords, comes with great responsibility to ensure that Saline continues to have a bright and prosperous future. Moments from now, we will hear a presentation about the 2015 Celtic Festival, which also happens to be its 20th year. It's an exciting event with much to offer the people who have enjoyed it for many decades. But this year, we also have a number of new additions. There are a great many people who have worked tirelessly to make this event a success, and it's never too late to get involved. If you are interested in volunteering, I hope you will, but more importantly, I hope to see everyone there this coming weekend, July 10th and 11th. Of course, as many of you know, we are a city, and we as a council are very proud of the work we've done to stabilize and improve the city's financial position. We are intensely proud of the city's improved bond rating, the work we did to advance adopting of a fund balance policy, and our recent 2015-2016 budget. As I've said in the past, budgets are a reflection of our priorities and values, and staff and council have been very thoughtful and thorough in the way we have considered our budgets. In particular, I'm pleased with this current budget that includes funds for new personnel at the police department and a new part-time code enforcement officer, as well as funding to support Rec on the Go. This budget also plans for anticipated retirements, which is approach indicative of forward-looking organizations. I'm also pleased that there is broad consensus on council to continue to consider pension and healthcare liability. In fact, next month we will be discussing and hopefully work towards adopting a new policy outlining our approach for employees interested in purchasing years of credit towards their pension. The city continues to work hard to leverage new economic development opportunities and encourage investment in the Saline community. Later this month, we will discuss a proposal by a well-regarded developer to acquire and develop our Monroe Street property, and we have some other interesting proposals on some of the other city-listed sites. I know we are all eager to work with potential developers and carefully consider their proposals. I've talked in the past about our LDFA TIFA task force, and I want to thank the members for their work. Later this month, we will consider their changes to the development plans for our industrial parks, as well as various commercial areas. I think they made some common sense, prudent recommendations, and their recommendations appropriately reflect new trends and forward-looking priorities. On a similar note, I have communicated with staff, legal counsel, and the chair of our Code and Ordinance Review Task Force to call upon the group to reconvene in the coming months to investigate the possibility of changing some land use and zoning requirements in our industrial parks. I believe we need more flexibility and a more contemporary approach. There may be some value in thinking about these spaces as innovation parks instead of limiting them to exclusively industrial. Many other communities in southeastern Michigan and across our region have found ways to look at existing properties in new ways by looking creatively and strategically at the way our zoning ordinances work. Saline can better encourage and cultivate this type of investment, and it's what we want to see in a 21st century economy. The City of Saline will continue to hold citywide events targeting large businesses as well as small businesses and entrepreneurs. In fact, we will have one such event later this summer and another in the fall. The city will continue to invite existing businesses so that we can better understand their needs and connect them with resources that may be helpful. But we will also begin to be more aggressive in reaching out to developers and business leaders who may have an interest in operating in the Saline community. Make no mistake about it, our approach of working proactively with the private sector to help to create jobs and encourage investment in the Saline community will continue, and it will continue to be one of our primary areas of focus moving forward. In just a few days, a major infrastructure project will commence on North Harris Street. Area property owners have already been notified, but I encourage all residents to please be patient and to plan accordingly. Obviously, The infrastructure project that consumes most of our time and energy to date is the 2016 Michigan Avenue makeover. The planning for this project continues to go well, and candidly, the city was elated to receive more TAP grant funding than we initially requested or anticipated. We remind our citizens and business owners that the project will not only include the reconstruction of US 12, but the modernization of our streetscape and improved safety features along the length of the project, which will stretch from Maple Road to just east of the dam. The city continues to partner with Saline Main Street and other stakeholders to leverage new opportunities in our downtown, but also to strategically manage the resources we currently have. One particular item of note on tonight's agenda is Merchant Park. I think we have a responsible and conservative approach to improve the viability of this space, and also make it safer. While our downtown is historic, and it's what makes Saline unique, we have other important areas of commerce located throughout our community. With an understanding that we need strong and stable businesses in areas of commerce on our western border, the city will be organizing an event later this year and inviting the business and property owners along with other stakeholders to develop more cohesion and strategy for that area in our community. City staff, Mayor Pro Tem Rhodes, and I have already met about this initiative, and I believe that there is great potential there. Another important item on tonight's agenda is a contract to begin a citywide initiative to improve sidewalks and walkability. What is being proposed tonight will resolve approximately 90% of the defects in our city's sidewalk inventory through the utilization of Metro funds, coming at no cost to taxpayers. As I've stated in the past, our efforts to improve public transportation and connectivity will continue. I hope that we are in a position to partner with AAATA, more commonly known as the RIDE, in the very near future. In the meantime, I encourage people to utilize People's Express. Since we've added a second bus, they are now more responsive and accommodating. The safety of our community, my friends, is of paramount importance, and we continue to be served well by the men and women of our police and fire departments. Our efforts related to combating substance abuse and addiction continue. Although the progress has been slower than I or many would have liked, the group is close to finalizing its strategic framework. Subsequent to that, some organizational changes will need to take place, but I encourage people who are passionate about the issue to consider becoming involved. Integral to our community's well-being is access to quality, convenient emergency services. In the past, I have stated my regret that the city is no longer served by a 24-hour emergency room. In that vein, later this fall, I will be organizing a meeting and inviting members of the healthcare community, along with other community stakeholders, to discuss how we can better collaborate to meet our community's healthcare needs moving forward. I believe that it's absolutely imperative that we lead on this issue. The city continues to engage and communicate robustly with the people we serve and the people we represent. Even in the last few minutes, I talked about some of the many events and community-wide discussions the city will be organizing on various issues to engage with our residents. The city will continue to remain open to new ideas and do everything we can to encourage new involvement by our talented community members. Truly successful, vibrant cities are inclusive and welcoming, and they work hard to develop and cultivate a sense of community. Saline already has a strong sense of community, but we need to work hard to make our city an even better place. Over recent months, the city has worked to establish the Saline Area Sustainability Circle, bringing together neighboring municipalities and stakeholders to discuss time-sensitive, important issues, and of course, a plan for the future. I am particularly excited about the fact that we recently created a SESWI Centennial Task Force to celebrate the community's 150th anniversary next year. Councilmember Roth and I serve on this group, along with a number of other community leaders representing key constituencies in our area. The group is looking to establish some subcommittees to help coordinate next year's celebrations. They include fundraising, youth activities, tours, promotions and marketing, signature event, and volunteers. If residents are interested in joining one of the subcommittees or helping in any way, please contact me or another member of the task force. Needless to say, our efforts and our recent successes would not have been possible without the dedicated staff members and without my colleagues on City Council. Again, I want to acknowledge the tremendous efforts made by Mayor Pro Tem David Rhodes, Councilwoman Janet Dillon, Councilmember Dean Gearbaugh, Jim Roth, and Councilwoman Seibel Koenig and Linda Tahar. I'm emphatic, and I know that Saline is headed in the right direction, and I continue to believe that our best days are ahead of us. Thank you, God bless you, and may God bless Saline.